Hey, folks, it's Bob Harrison. Welcome to Pop Culture SquadCast Live. Hope everybody can hear me well. I am I'm going to be solo for the first part of our show tonight. Unfortunately, Mike's a little under the weather, so he's not going to make it. But we're going to talk about some stuff. We have a couple of guests that are going to join us. Our own Mark Allen Fish is going to be here very shortly, and we're going to talk about some things going on with the Unshaven Comics and the upcoming Dragon Con that he's going to be at. So we're excited for that. Thanks for being here. We also have Oliver Mertz, who's going to be on the show tonight. Oliver was on the show 2 years ago. We were talking about his kickstarting of the first installment of A Ghost Arm Made of Angry Ghosts, and tonight he's going to be on, and we're going to talk about that in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. The completed graphic novel, 192-page version of A Ghost Arm Made of Angry Ghosts is going to be available for purchase, and we're super excited to talk to him about it. Before we get too much further down the road, I want to talk about Lanterns. Lanterns came on, or was released on Sunday. I have watched episode 1. I am not one of those people who gets to see all of the preview episodes or the 4-issue episodes that people have seen. So I've seen 1 episode, and I enjoyed it. I am that person. I am the person who is going to enjoy our something for the sake of it being enjoyable. I don't need to go on the internet, and I'm not going to come on here and spread fan theories or come up with my own ideas about what's going to happen in episode 5 or how they're going to reveal something. I know that the writers and the director and the showrunners and the crew and the cast have generated something that I was entertained for an hour watching. I'm intrigued to find out what comes next. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be there for the whole thing. Doesn't mean that they might lose me along the way. But I'm in for episode 2 for the very least. It is not. It is a different take, and I enjoy that. I like that a lot. I like to see different takes on known stories and lore. To use a word of the kids today, I like to see when people talk about or tell a story that looks familiar, but also doesn't fit in what you currently know. I mean, I was a huge fan of Elseworlds, and that's what it is. So I recommend watching Lanterns. That's my opinion. I liked it. If you are like-minded to me, you would probably enjoy at least episode 1. Episode 2 comes out next Sunday. It's a traditional HBO format, once a week thing, not dropped on you all at once. But I liked it. I'm going to bring in our first guest, who's not really a guest. He's a member of this Pop Culture Squad, and we're going to bring in Mark and see what he has to say. Hello, Mark.
I disagree about everything. That's why I'm here.
I understand that. Did you watch Lanterns?
I have not, but I'm absolutely going to watch it. And yeah, I mean, I've watched the trailers enough, and I'm a fan, and I agree with you. Elseworlds, there is no canon. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed the living heck out of Superman and Supergirl. So I'm in it to win it for everything that James Gunn is greenlighting for the time being.
Well, you know what? Talking about Elseworlds and stuff like that, this shocked me or surprised me. I'd say shocked. At the end of Lanterns episode 1, the next thing that HBO Max wanted to show me was Watchmen, the TV show.
I mean,
which I absolutely loved. I absolutely love that, but they pulled it. It was off of HBO Max.
I mean, I see stuff like that, and I just think that there's some algorithm somewhere that's just like, oh, this is comic property.
Well, no, I mean, I get that part. My point was that I was surprised that Watchmen is now back on HBO Max, and if you have not watched Watchmen, you should watch Watchmen.
It's on a forever lengthening list of things that I definitely want to catch.
Yeah, well, it's now there was a point in time when you could not watch it. You can now, so there you go.
Good to know. As I think in the comic televised properties, I have to go back and watch the Punisher one-off that came out semi recently.
I haven't watched that.
Yeah, I mean, I already saw the Spider-Man movie, but I don't care. And I just noticed I had finished up. What did I finish? The Bear, which is not really comic related, but apparently
Chicago.
They had a one-off special episode that Hulu just snuck in that I didn't catch. And there was major references to it in the finale that, I mean, I didn't know what I was watching, and just, oh, look at that. Fun. So
Kyle's just dropping all of his opinions.
That's good. That's good. He represents Unshaven Comics as much as I do, and
sure.
I'm sure I'll have to hear all about it when we're driving down to Dragon Con.
Well, so let's talk about that.
For transition.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. First of all, what we're talking about? Dragon Con. Dragon Con's going to be here in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that.
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend is late this year. But at Dragon Con, which I have not been, and I hope to at some point, you will be there. You and Kyle, Matt.
All three of us. All three of us.
All three Unshaven brothers will be.
Not
there.
only all three of us, but at a double table.
Very nice. So what does the Unshaven Comics guys have this year at Dragon Con that they didn't have last year?
This year we have a new issue of Samurnauts, Rage of Rep Simeon #1, which
Rage
is
of Rep Simeon #1.
Yes.
All right.
Which is it's our so after Curse of the Dreadnought, our graphic novel, all three of us Unshavens decided that we were going to splinter off and do 3 separate Samurnaut stories, with each Unshaven helming their own book for as much as they could. So 2 years ago, we released Samurnauts to the Max #1, which was written and drawn by me. And now this is the next one in that sequence. This is Rage of Rep Simeon. It's written by Kyle. And since Kyle is not an artist, we partnered with Stephanie Meited, who also worked on Kyle's previous book, Bloom's Heist on the Magical Girl's Vault. So she did the interiors for us. We have our friend Steph Stanga, who did the cover, and our Unshaven intern, Ava Louise, who's been our student since she was in elementary school, and she's now a junior in high school. She did the coloring on the book. I just came in for the finishes, if you will, but she did an amazing job, such that I hope we get more stuff on her desk before we lose her to a million other things.
So the Rage of Rep Simeon, did I get that right?
Yep.
What is this story about?
This returns us to the very first Samurnaut team in ancient China, and we're actually seeding from a panel that occurred in Samurnaut's Genesis. So in their Secret Origin tale, there's a one-off panel where you see Master Al doing a little bit of monkey to monkey battle, and the hurt monkey that he battles in this book returns mutated by the evil Onisaurus clan into the evil Rep Simeon. So it is the samurai astronauts led by an immortal kung fu monkey, this time facing a mutant dinosaur monkey hybrid.
That their samurai or sensei has history with.
Yes. And this basically returns back to that. I mean, this is our first issue, I believe, of 3 in that series. So we're basically getting back to establishing who the Samurnauts were at this time. So if you followed Curse of the Dreadnoughts and the Genesis saga, you're basically starting at ground zero. The Samurnauts themselves at this point have just left their village. They've been training up in the mountains with Master Al alone. And for those who were following, they were all kicked out. I should say Master Al was kicked out of the village, and these villagers went with him to train. And we kind of catch up to see like what they feel about that. Like if you've been away from your home for a couple of years training with this outcast, how does that affect all of them?
All right, that's awesome. So, how long has this particular issue taken, and what's going on with next phases of this?
This book actually went fairly fast, all things considered. I'd say it took about a year total for us to get together. From Stephanie's black and white artwork to Ava, I trained her on how to do the color flatting, and then she basically just sent me pages weekly as she got to them because she was still at that time going through her sophomore year of high school and the summer. So
That's crazy. That's fantastic.
She just did. I can't wait to show people. We'll figure out a way. I'll do an article about it. Just like the quality of her flatting, I've not ever been this gifted where I just get a page. I'm like, I don't think there's much for me to do. I can add a couple of glows. I can add a shadow, but she's done. She knew exactly what was going on. So the whole process of it went really, really quickly. And actually, our fellow squadstress, Adrian, did the editing, sent her the draft. She took a look at it, caught a couple of things, and I acted as Kyle's inline editor.
Nice.
To which I know he's watching, so I'll call him out online. He'll never read it, so I don't have to worry about him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Missing some of his panels.
Writers don't read.
Nah, why would you? And so what comes after this is Matt's issue, La Noche de los Luchonauts.
Okay.
And that's all Matt written and drawn, so same as My to the Max. And that one is going to take us to 1920s Mexico City, catching up with Master Al as he trains luchadors to become Samurnauts and fight demon vampire succubi, I believe, who are also wrestlers. Right.
That's fantastic. I'm excited about that.
You got to roll the dice on these adjectives.
So this new issue is going to be available at DragonCon at your booth. What booth number? Let's get that out.
That we don't know yet.
Okay, we don't know booth numbers.
No.
You are going to, but you do know which pavilion. Like I'm an uninitiate of DragonCon, but I do know that it's this weird hybrid structure of multiple hotels and places, and you guys are going to be where?
So all of the vendors and artists are always housed in America's Mart, which is in downtown Atlanta. Mm-hmm. We will be on the 4th floor, almost always. I don't think that's going to change. And Artist Alley is the 4th floor. So you come up the escalators and boom, you're right there. It's a whole show floor of just artists and printmakers. And then each successive floor down from us, so floor 3 and 2 and 1 are like more traditional vendors. You get your usually they have a whole floor of what I would just call like for the cosplay. So they've got a lot of like leather makers and shield makers and wand makers, and sword makers.
Oh, you muted yourself. You muted yourself. Hang on a second.
Let's try that again.
You're good.
Okay. So outside of that, your second and third floors are usually more traditional vendors, DVD resellers, long box sellers, and whatnot. But we'll be on that 4th floor with 2 tables this time around. We are rolling the dice a little bit.
All right.
Because we've done this show now. I think this is our 4th or 5th year in a row. And every year it just gets better.
That's fantastic. So what is the availability of Samurnauts to people who do not see you at shows?
Always available at unshavencomics.com.
And this particular issue, the Rage of Rep Simeon, will be available after DragonCon online?
Yeah.
So you're saving that. If you want it, you need to go to DragonCon.
I mean, yes, if you can't go to DragonCon, we totally understand. But any that we don't move there, I believe Ava and her friends have claimed copies, and then after that we will fill. But yes, We've got more than enough copies to go around, but we want to give first dibs to the Dragon Con folk. Just typically the best way to go about doing it. Though I hear rumor that there are other digital avenues of comic sharing these days that we should investigate. So
Sure. That's a great idea. I think that Unshaven should do that. I think there's plenty of, I think that the cost for you guys is probably minimal considering. You Dean will be there at Dragon Con for his first time, so he can get a copy of the Rage Repsimian in person. I expect you to do that, Dean.
And I mean, we'll do that in tow. So hey, Brandon. Yeah, we'll absolutely. I mean, I think we'll hopefully get to visit with Dean. I mean, if any luck, he'll be close to us, but he'll probably be towards all of the important people. They move us around a lot.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something you guys should talk about. We should let me know if you want to talk about that offline about the digital aspects of things.
Oh, absolutely.
This has been what you have any more shows after this for the
year? The next, I think the final show for us this year will be I believe it's Galaxy Con St. Louis, which is in October. Okay. That's the last one we've signed up for. There's rumor of other ones that we may like one day here or there that are closer to the Chicago area. And then obviously as this game is going, like you got to start applying to stuff early. So
yeah. I just saw there's a whole bunch of stuff about Emerald City, which is in March, I think, or maybe late February. And there's other news about Emerald City that they're going to be badgeless, and that you're
following suit with their Reed, right? And that's
they are Reed, yeah.
Reed, so I mean, they said the same thing for C2E2, and I watched that comment thread blow up.
Well, I didn't know that they had said it about C2E2. I know they said it about Emerald City, and yeah, it blew up. I don't like it. We're not there yet. I understand the concept. I understand that it's something that will happen, but we're not in a world that's ready for that yet.
I mean, it just seems like worthless cost cutting, and like I know it's just a badge, but I think if you are a routine goer to shows, the badges are great to hold on to as keepsakes. Especially Dragon Con is they do the badge ribbon thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a whole different situation. Yeah.
And we're going to do it this year too. So
oh, good. You guys got a ribbon?
Yeah, we're going to order it actually this weekend. We're going to get a Samurnauts Argo hot pink ribbon to throw in there just because we need to stand out. And depending, I've got a vendor friend who's looking into it. And if I can get a deal, we might also do Can I Tell You About My Comic Book speech balloon?
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. You gotta represent what brings you to the party. You know what I mean?
Sure. We got it. All right, Mark. This has been great.
Always.
We are very excited about it. We will give me anything you need to, and we'll make sure that Pop Culture Squad is repping the fact that you guys are going to be at Dragon Con I would like to see the book.
Yes, I will send you a book.
Thank you.
I'll make sure
you don't have to send me the book. Just send me digitally. That's fine.
That's what I meant. But I'll make sure that's in your hands, and then I'll also drop. If you put it out here on the internet, you can't go back on your word. So I'll just go ahead and prove it. We've been threatening to do this for a very long time. Unshaven Comics bought microphones. We are going to launch a TikTok channel.
Nice. I'm very excited for you guys.
We're going
very excited to see that.
Yeah.
We will cross promote that for sure. Thanks for being here. And if you don't know that you should be going to popculturesquad.com on a regular basis and reading Mark's column, that it's full of information. It's smartly written. It's greatly put together. So it's
wait till my next one though. It's a guest writer. I'm just going to tease that out.
Oh boy, you're making me work for my money.
It's nefarious, but don't worry.
All right, Mark. Thanks so much for being here. We're looking forward to you guys having a lot of success at Dragon Con.
Thank you much. Read on.
All right. Thanks, man.
Bye.
All right, folks. We are going to bring in our guest. Thanks for everybody for being here, for watching. Thanks. We are again super excited for them to be at Dragon Con. They work really hard, and this is their passion project. The Salmonauts is something that they have a love for and work very hard to get it out. And we're going to bring in our guest. As I said earlier at the beginning of the show, this is a little over 2 years since Oliver was here the first time, talking about the Kickstarter for a ghost arm made of angry ghosts that is now coming to full fruition and going to be in your hands as a full graphic novel in 2 weeks. And so without further ado, let's welcome Oliver Mertz to the show. Hey, Oliver, welcome back. It's September 2nd, not September 3rd.
September 2nd. Yeah. In comic shops.
I don't know. I overtyped.
No worries. That video is like, it's like, this is your life.
Yeah. Well, you get one this time.
Yeah.
And woo from Shelly. Well, thanks for watching, Shelly.
Hi, Shelly.
Last time you were here, we weren't there. Now everyone gets a nice little video welcome, and I'm so happy to make one for you. I am super happy that this book is doing what it was. It was a couple of years ago, maybe it was the same year in New York when you told me that this was going to happen.
Yeah. So shortly after, for anyone listening who doesn't know, I made a book called A Ghost Arm Made of Angry Ghosts. I wrote it and worked with and co-created it with Alex Diotto, who's just a fantastic artist, and Taylor Esposito is the letterer on that. We did a Kickstarter. And that was the first 58 pages of this book. We were on the podcast. We were doing the rounds, promoting the book. And the Kickstarter did pretty well. And shortly after that, Oni Press knocked on the door and said, well, what are you doing with it? Like, what's, are you going to keep Kickstarting? What are you going to do? And that was actually the original plan, that we were going to just keep Kickstarting it. I'm just very thankful that Oni was like, well, I think we could help out by, getting it out to a larger audience. And yeah, so from there, it would have been New York Comic Con that year that we would have talked about it. I would have said, hey,
yeah,
keep this under wraps,
which I did. And now we get to talk about it for real.
Yeah.
What's it like where this book is done, 192 pages, or at least, I don't know, maybe 190.
It's like 100. It's actually 176. There's a lot of back matter stuff.
Still,
yeah,
it's a lot of pages.
It's a lot of pages. So to have it done feels fantastic. I mean, like, I already feel like I climbed the top of the mountain, and like that was the goal. Like, I wanted to make this book. I wanted to make, I wanted to make something that that was entirely me. And I don't mean, I obviously it's Alex
sure
as well. But I mean, like, I feel like I hadn't quite hit exactly the Oliver Mertz of my voice. And I felt really good about this book, and I felt really good about the first chapter, and I knew that it was something. So like, the fact that anyone liked it and read it is like all bonus. Like, I just wanted to make this book, and so it's done. And yeah, September 2nd, people will judge me either well or harshly, but yeah.
No, you said a couple of things there that I want to come back to.
Sure, yeah.
One is, this is very much you. I've not finished it. I am well into, like, more than halfway through.
My wife
And,
said she goes, this is dense, right?
yeah, but yes, but I don't want to stop. Like I was reading before the show. Like I'm trying to.
I don't take dense as an insult. I take dense
No.
as like I mean I put a lot in there, and like
Mhm.
intentional roadblocks even here and there.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Like I want to get to this part, and you keep stopping and putting me back forward, and then going over here. It's a journey that you want to take, and it's fun, it's entertaining, but as just come back to the point that it is your voice. It is there's something about it that is very distinct, very unique. It's not a cookie cutter. Yeah, I didn't write this. There's
Yeah, I
something
didn't
very
exist when it was written. Not that I would use it now, but
no, of course. But my point is that it's a very it's not a generic, plot story. There's some very deep, some very personal things, a lot of things that are centered on your childhood and the places where you grew, where you lived, and things you did,
Mhm.
um, that are not Oliver Mertz saying, "Hey, this is from my childhood." It's just because you can tell like how these things came about.
So I
Why is that important?
Yeah. I had been taking so Brian Michael Bendis has his master class. I was taking that class, and in one of the
Mhm.
classes someone said, "Well, why did you set all your stuff in your early stuff in Cleveland?" And he's like, "Well, so it's a version of Write What You Know," but he basically said, everywhere is magical to someone, and Cleveland is magical to me. And I really like that idea, like, and it kind of like stuck. And I was like, well, you know the DC area, and like growing up here in the punk scene, and like going to shows, and there's something um it's like a little club almost, like, hey, it's a very small area. Like DC is not New York or LA. It's a very small city. And people know people. You show up to shows, and like I knew that place, and I knew like the little things that like I would say I like about DC, and that like I feel like are a part of me as well. Like even little details, like the Metro used to have these like really ugly orange seats. Uh,
I saw the orange seats, and
and,
I'm like, oh, the Metro used to have those really ugly orange seats.
and like I love the orange seats.
Sure,
So like I want to, so I have all these little details that don't necessarily matter in terms of the plot, but they matter to me in terms of like creating the world that I feel like is lived in, and like it has a little grounding to it. And I also just want to see that stuff. Like I just thought it would be fun to like have that stuff. So um, I don't think I think like sometimes when you get really specific in comics and in stories in general, it gets less exclusionary and more include, like you include more people because you're kind
sure.
of letting them in. And it also like it's so specific that it allows them to have like a once removed, like that's not, you know like maybe they're not from there or whatever, but they get a window in, and they get to sort of separate from the story and maybe just focus on the themes, or focus on the emotions of it. So
I totally understand what you're saying. There's this because I know the area, the
yeah.
locations that you're talking about. I'm not from there. They don't have the same type of resonance with me
Mhm.
as they do with you. But knowing that it does, knowing that these things are real, because I know that the writer was talking about some real place. He didn't make up this
Mhm.
place. Like Rockville, Maryland, everybody knows Rockville, Maryland is a real place.
Yeah, don't go
Um,
back to Rockville.
um, and I find it gives it a sense of authenticity, despite the fact that we're talking about superhero or superpowered
Sure.
beings,
So
right?
like
Like that's the other part
yeah.
of it.
So like the characters, like they go to a Fugazi show in this like church basement, and they're like standing on some chairs in the back. And I went to that show. Like that was it. Like I'm writing this specific show, and which is also fun. You can go to discord.com, and you can listen to they have the live series and you can actually listen to that exact show. But so I wanted to have that exact show, but I also wanted to be a world that like was weird and like was
People eat eggs.
people eat it. Well, that's a pretty weird thing.
Did the egg guy happen?
The egg guy did not happen. I just thought that would be a really annoying,
It was very weird
thing to happen, and something that I would feel both sides of the like awkwardness and the anger that the two characters experience.
Sure.
I would have that dialogue in my head.
So you just put it into two different characters, right?
In a sense, I mean, I think that like there's a little bit of me in all of the characters. Like you can say more or less in some and more or less in others, but sometimes the dialogue flows that way. And hopefully they're distinct and they are their own characters. I mean, once you start writing them, they kind of take on this life and they become their own voice, even though they start from that place of like you making stuff up.
We have a lot more to talk about with this, but I do want to say for people who are listening and watching that we're not going to talk about the egg guy anymore, but you have to go read it now to find out about the egg guy, because I know you want to know about the egg guy. He doesn't want you to call him egg guy though.
He doesn't care for that.
One of the other things is with this storytelling, and I want to come back one more thing about the setting. So Alex D'Otto is the artist. They're not from this area, correct?
No. He's from Italy. He lives in Italy.
And he just drew the DC Metro in the most gorgeous manners.
So what's really amazing is, so I reached out to him, and like I had been making comics, for a while, and I'd been coloring on books with people he'd worked with and that type of thing. I felt like we were in the same orbit that I could reach out. Like, worst he would say is no, but I felt like I could reach out. So I reach out to him. I go, I've got this book. It's set in the DC area. It's a superpowered murder mystery set in the DC punk scene of the 90s. And he's like, and I'm like, think like Fugazi, and he's like, he's younger than me. He lives in Italy, and he's like, I grew up obsessed with Fugazi. Make this book. And I just kind of love that like the DC music scene is very much like, it feels like this local thing, but it's nice to like know that like the art kind of connects elsewhere and that it has a meaning, even though it's like, it feels like this hyper specific thing. But Alex, I gave him a lot of reference and things like that.
Sure.
To use.
He did a fantastic job of capturing like the cityscape and the angle of perspective.
Yeah.
There's something very visual about the way that he kind of, you feel the size of DC, and DC is not a big city.
Yeah, I think
it is.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is. But it's big enough. There's I just really love the way that his perspective on coming into scenes and from buildings works. It just really feels very natural and narrative in the way that it works, because it works for the story that's being told and the way that it's being told. That's super important.
Yeah, I think he really grounds the book too. Like, it could get really wild and not work, but his storytelling is so good that he's able to capture the sort of fantastic elements, but because they have this like great like feeling that's rooted in like a real like textured place, like it reads better, it feels better. Like when you get to a talking bowl of soup, it doesn't seem to be the out of nowhere. I mean, it's a little out of nowhere, but it also seems to like fit in the world, in the same world where like the DC skyline, which is pretty low down, and like the textures of the city and the feeling of the city, like all of that, like he renders all of that beautifully.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling a bit, and
Sure, yeah.
And it's beautiful. I want to also highlight turn away from the narrative for a second and
Mhm.
and the visual narrative, but not too far, because I you colored this book,
Mhm.
and what did that mean?
Um, what did it mean? It meant, I've been doing colors for a while.
Sure.
Like I've been doing colors in comics for like a really long time now, and I've been doing good colors in comics for like a couple of years. Um, and I kind of felt like um, I had gotten to a point where I knew that I could execute what I wanted to do, which was like really muted, like really. Um, I wanted to pull things back really flat. I really wanted to let Alex's art sing, and like, you know, I hate when things are like super over rendered and like, there's just too much shadows and stuff. I love flatter. It's almost like a throwback now, but like it's just the style that I gravitate towards. And I kn- like I knew it would be a good fit with Alex too, because like
It
just
is. It is perfect.
yeah. And I'm glad
I
that he thought so too. If he
oh
thought it
no,
was terrible, that would be a whole other story.
it is. It is. It's really cool that you guys have meshed both at the narrative level and at the artistic level.
Mhm,
That's something you don't normally see. First of all, you don't normally see writers who are also colorists.
mhm.
That's a little different.
I mean,
Except for
that just comes.
You and Jordy are the only ones, right? Pretty much.
I think it just comes from like indie comics. Like, everybody does a little bit of everything, right? And like,
Sure.
if I could draw better, I'd probably be also doing that. But like, I have been very fortunate to work with really awesome people. And sometimes, I needed to do colors, and sometimes I do letters, all sorts of things. But like, in indie comics, like you make the comic however you can make it. And so like coloring for me came from like, well, I really couldn't afford a colorist back
Sure.
for um
No, I gotta say, and this is just for me. I recently received my copy of the Forgotten Five,
oh yeah,
and
cool, yeah,
I looked at it and I said, Oliver colored this.
yeah.
Now that, I mean, that's I could look at it and know it was your work, and I thought that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. So that Alex Segura, Pat Kennedy, uh, just like Alex Dioto is also on that book as well.
Sure.
It's just a ton of people working on that, and I mean that came about someone vouching for me who might be in the chat. Shelley Bond passing my name along, saying, "Hey, maybe consider this guy." And I'll step back. Well, Shelley, first of all, a Ghost Arm Made of Angry Ghosts would not be anything what it is without Shelley Bond.
Right.
Like, yeah,
We have now reached the let's praise Shelley as much as
I
she
mean,
deserves.
I think every
Portion
comic
of the
creator
show,
probably should in every interview they do. But seriously, like,
and we have this pretty much, once a month. We have our let's praise Shelley, whether she's
I
on or not.
I think that is totally right, because it's bonkers to me because she has changed and elevated the medium in so many ways, on so many amazing books that are just like the best. Okay, she maybe she's blushing now here, but like the fact that we connected over a Kickstarter. Like
Sure.
I backed her Kickstarter for Fast Times, um,
Hmm.
and and like the reward was I'll review your pitch,
Mm.
and like I'll give you notes on the pitch. And so I sent Shelly the pitch, and for a Ghost Arm Made of Angry Ghosts. This is before Alex was even attached, or I had been talking with Alex a little bit maybe, but it wasn't sort of set. Um, and Shelly looked over the pitch and she goes, "You got a script?" And so I send the script along, and we start talking, and we get along. As you know, she's the best. Like we sort of we find common ground in music and things like that, and even music, comics, and stuff like that. But I was sort of a guinea pig in one of Shelley's incredible editing 102 classes.
Sure.
And so, putting the screws like the early versions of Ghost Arm, like, I came from indie comics where we also didn't work with editors and things like that. So it was like a masterclass in learning to work with an editor from the best. And yes, Godard as well, Shelley. And like I got to see what it meant to have someone be in your corner. It's not someone there to write it for you, and it's not someone there to tear it down just to tear it down. It's someone there to make it the best version of what it is. So the book is a little weirder because of Shelley, and the book is a little I think a little better, or a lot better rather.
Well, so I took Shelley's first 101 class.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get to take that 102 class, but what did you gain? You say it's a little weirder. What was it specifically that you took in this story, and then through the process? I think it's important for the process of making comics, and telling a story that you don't just sit down and write 176 pages and then a day later you're done and here it is. That's not the process, not how it works. So what is it you gained from that collaborative, iterative process through that?
They're like very specific notes and very general notes, and like a specific note of the characters. You originally met them in the scene at the Fugazi concert, and like they're very small on the page and that type of thing. And Shelley's suggestion was, I think if you're going to meet a character for the first time, seeing them as tiny as possible, like, it's a choice. And if you're trying to say something with that choice, you're trying to say something with that choice. Or if you're not trying to say something with that choice, be aware that there's an effect. And so I went back and wrote, she was like, think of that choice. So I went back and wrote 6 more pages to introduce Ari and Maya. And in that, I think just taking a moment, taking a beat of saying, okay, well, let me introduce them in a different way. Let me introduce them where you get a moment with them. And I started you get like large images, like literally larger images. So you're getting a sense of who they are, but then you get them interacting in the world before like the plot kicks in. And Shelley and I had also talked about this, that like I really I love like Dazed and Confused, and like like movies where like you hang out with the characters and like it's not necessarily about the plot. So there's a lot of that in this book where you're hanging out and you get to exist with them. So like that opening that I went back and rewrote, they're existing, and the world is a weird world. It is DC. It is like very specific, but it also is this like fantastical world with people with superpowers. But like, getting to see what that looks like and getting to like experience that and experience the like mundane way, like the blasé way that the characters feel about that, I think also did a lot for the rest of the book. Like,
I think so too. I think it
sort of set something up there.
I think that that opening scene is incredibly valuable in setting up the weird that we're going to experience.
Mm-hmm.
So you went through the process of kickstarting of first issue.
Mm-hmm.
What's changed from that to what we have now? Because I think there's some added stuff. There's some things moved around a little bit. What was that process like?
So Alex and I went back. So Alex wanted to change a few things. Like faces, a couple of faces here and there, a couple of poses here and there. So there is a bit of that throughout the first 58 pages.
Mhm.
So they're pretty much the same, but there's a little bit of cleanup through there of different things. There's also a couple of different beats of like dialogue that maybe seed different things that didn't fully exist at the time, but like, I know will work here and will pay off. There's a couple of pages that are reordered and changed, or a couple of pages that are just fully redone, just so you get a different angle and you get a different sense of like the scene in that environment. But for the most part, it is very similar. So I think if you read the first 58 pages, you'll see the changes, but hopefully, like, if you pick up the full version, you're not like, hey, I was sold a bill of goods over here, and now this is a totally different thing. It is still mostly the same there, but like then the story goes on. So like that's the first 58.
Yeah,
But
but there's so much. It feels like there's stuff differently in order though. Like,
there is a couple of things like in different orders. There's a couple of pages, especially towards the end of it, that like were redone and shifted. But
and I think it makes sense. I really, I'd like for you to give what you wanted to give into what this story is about, to grab people with, because we've said it's a superhero mystery set in the punk scene of 90s DC, but there's more to it. What do you want to share?
I liken it to like a David Lynch film by way of like Agatha Christie.
Okay, I'll buy that. That's good.
By way of Minor Threat, like
sure.
It's a little experimental. I definitely wanted to try different things in there, things that I liked that had been done in comics, but maybe hadn't been pushed a certain way. And a couple of things in there that I hadn't seen done in comics before that I was like, we should try this. Because I also was of the mindset that, first creating it originally, I'm like, no one's going to read this, so I'm just going to do whatever I want. And I don't like, it's the first issue was 58 pages. Like I didn't care that it was going to be, like it didn't have to fit into a 22 or a 30 page issue thing. So I just wanted to like let things like exist and like, so I didn't think anyone was going to read it. Then when Oni picked it up, I still have this mindset. I'm like, well, I'm never going to get another book. So I might as well go for broke and like try the experimental things and like put all the things that I would want to see and all the weird stuff in there. Because otherwise what do you like if you're not pushing yourself and pushing like what you want to do, like the 17-page comic, it could work. I just think like there's so much room to experiment, and like you can do different things that like why not, like Dean, like I've seen so many like a million different things there where you're just like doing something that is bonkers and brilliant in both format and also storytelling, and like like it's why I gravitate towards certain creators. Like I want to see someone do something new, but I also I want to be obsessed and familiar with their work and know the things, and I still want to be surprised and I still want to have that. And so I'm just trying my best to do something like that. But again, I don't know if anyone's going to read it, and I don't know if anyone's gonna buy it, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get another book. But I know that I'm incredibly happy and proud with how this book turned out. I feel like if I don't get another book with, like, I'm going to keep making comics anyway, right? So I'll just go back to Kickstarter. Of
course you are.
But I know that like this book deserves deserves your time. I think it deserves a chance. I also don't think this book is necessarily going to be for everyone, right?
No,
And like if you
but
start
that's okay. That's what it's supposed to be.
it's not supposed to be for everyone, but I think the people who do connect with it hopefully will really connect with it, like because like as I said earlier that I put some roadblocks in there, like the beginning of the book opens with the history of the sandwich,
Yes.
which
Is it the history of the sandwich, or is it just a theory of the history of the sandwich,
I-
or is
well,
it the
I would,
lore of the history of the sandwich?
I would say that it is my my choice of how I tell the history of the sandwich.
All right,
Could there be more to it? Sure,
there might be.
but I don't care. This is my book, you know. Like this is not it's not a history report, right? So like
No,
I can fudge things, I can do whatever I want. I mean a lot of it is researched. And like I just I wanted to put that in there, and it's sort of like an aside in an aside, because I feel like if you're going to go along with me on that short story, and if you enjoy how that is told, you're going to like the rest of the book. So like it's already kind of giving you a preview of like, okay, because I think about this, like,
sure. I agree with you 100%.
yeah,
Let me summarize
yeah,
that for a second. So it's if you read this first 4 pages and you turn to page 5, you're going to enjoy the book. You know, it's like you're okay. This is weird. I'm in for it.
yeah.
And then you get to the next page and you meet the characters and you know, okay, these are the people I'm actually going to be dealing with.
Yeah, then
This guy's weird. He's telling me about sandwiches. And now we're going to be talking about these people.
Yeah, I think so I just thinking of like David Lynch, like when you saw a David Lynch film, you might feel lost at times,
Mhm.
and like that was always okay because you knew that you were in the hands of someone guiding you through, and whatever you were feeling was right.
So
You were never having the wrong feeling if you trusted that you were being guided along the path.
I
And so
agree with
that's
you.
sort of how I think of it. Like
I
people might
agree
be like,
with you, but that's a dangerous proposition for you
mm,
because you're
well, yes,
not
no, I'm
David
putting
Lynch.
myself up there with some of the best creators ever.
But as I was reading it, I felt that I trusted where it was going to go. I felt that this is weird. I'm not sure where we're going here, but I feel like he's going to land this plane somewhere and it's going to make sense. So that is the reader,
Mhm.
you know, gathering that from what they're getting, and that's success. I
I
think.
think that's yeah. I think that they're like if a level of trust with the author, I think to me feels like a you know you're reading something that you're enjoying when like you're up for anything, and yeah, as you said, like you feel like they're gonna land the plane, but like maybe it's not at an airport.
Oh, sure.
You
I
know,
don't.
like,
I'm not saying. I'm just saying it's going to be. It's going to. I'm going to be. I hope that I'm going to be satisfied with the ending. I'm not going to be. I don't mean that I'm going to be satisfied with the result.
yeah,
That I'm
yeah,
going to
yeah,
be that it's going to be the result that I wanted or expected. But I feel like it's going to be. It's going to accomplish its mission and not leave me saying, "Hey, he failed."
I do have this thought of, because now I'm also thinking, okay, well, if people are going to read it, like I do have this other thought in my head, which is, um, I don't want to put out something that's like not worth someone's time, right? Like everyone's busy, everyone like there's too much stuff going on, not enough hours in the day, and if you're going to take the time to read something like, and then you feel like, oh, that was a real waste of time, um, like I can't control if you like it or you don't, but I think it's worth your like if you read it, you won't be like, well, that was just a piece of crap, like
Yeah,
uh
no, well,
you
it's
might,
not, but I get your point.
like you might not like it. There's like tons of stuff that like I've um I've really enjoyed the experience and hated the work.
There's a lot that you do in the narrative structure of this where you are tasking the reader to do work.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I want to talk about this. So besides, getting Taylor to write some extra letters,
Yeah.
which he probably, charged you by the character. But
that's how he does it. Charges by the character.
Things like this, there needs to be hard jumps in the way that you're telling this story. And it's like you get to a point, you're like, okay, I think I figured something out. Okay, break another 30 minutes later, or 25 minutes before this, or in 100 years earlier. That happens, folks. Why structure time the way that you did?
It just felt right for the story. Like I don't think that I set out to like tell a story that it wasn't just a linear story and wasn't A to B to C to D. I think it's just when I got to the end of a page and I knew that the page turn was coming, I thought, well, what would I want? What would I want? And sometimes leaving a scene and going to something else felt right, and sometimes coming back to that scene and like experiencing it after a time jump, like it felt like I got to I got to hit the beats that I wanted to. So like it's not that I was necessarily trying to like mess with the reader. I thought it worked. I thought it was
I mean it does, but you are messing with the reader. and there's a scene that I was immediately curious about what happened in this particular moment. And then you said, I'm going to tell you about what happened in that particular moment. And you give me about a page and a half of it. And then we switch. Then we come back to that thing in that moment again. And we don't get the end of it. Then we switch out again. So eventually I'm going to get to that. And I haven't finished. So as I said earlier, but that was the reason why I didn't want to stop reading, was I wanted to know what happened in that one particular scene.
That, I mean, that okay, so that's a little bit messing with the reader, but I also
listen, but that's good. That's got the reader. I'm invested. I want to know. And it's not that I was disappointed by those things. I wasn't disappointed by what I learned when I was moved out of that scene that I was curious about. I'm glad I got that.
It's that idea of the hand guiding you along. If you think that the person telling the story is doing it in good faith, like they're gonna mess with you, but they're not messing with you to fool you in some like, I'm trying to trick you because I don't actually have the story up my sleeve. But if they're trying to mess with you because they're like, this is the best way to tell this story, then I think you'll go along with having a scene interrupted, and you'll go along with like getting a piece of the information, maybe getting a different piece. I don't know, it either works or it doesn't, right? And it just felt like the right way to tell that. It felt like, I wanted to get a lot in that basement scene, but I also I needed a different beat. Like every time I got to I'd be in that scene and I would come, the page turns coming and I'm like, I don't want to be in the scene right now. I want to and maybe that's just me with like ADHD and I'm just like,
it's funny because that's the scene I was talking about.
I mean, there's got to be the scene, right? Because that's not the scene.
No, it's Marlos.
Oh, the Marlo. Well, yeah. The Marlo scene, and that's also that. I feel.
But you do the same. So here's the thing. I know exactly which there are. So folks, read this book. But the scene that he thought I was talking about. I could totally see everything he said about not wanting to be in the scene anymore, and there were jumps and fits to that. that worked in a way
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it was narrative. In narrative, you narratively took me out of the scene. Something happened and it had to end. Whereas the
So
other part that I was talking about,
I'll
where
tell you,
something
device wise, I'm stealing from Alison Bechdel in Fun Home, who like
it's
in
fine.
telling the story of her father, like would tell like one version of a story, and then you keep reading, and then you'd hear that same story again, but with more information, and it
Mhm.
like changed how you viewed that. And I just love that, like you can revisit it, and like there's nothing saying that you can't just have that scene again, but with more information. And now all of a sudden, like it just means something else, and then you can just keep doing that. And you can keep getting more information through that. So like that's why the Marlowe stuff, it's just I just wanted to have everyone think something one way and keep changing it and keep changing it and keep changing it, but not just to do that because I thought that it would propel the mystery in a very satisfying way if
I
you
mean,
didn't have the information and then you were given it in a certain way.
as you were writing this, did you know the important plot points of how we got from A to B to C? If I told you, tell me exactly what this story is about linearly,
Mhm.
did you know that story linearly? Sorry.
I mean,
And then
yeah.
this structure is to how to make that linear story even more interesting.
Yes and no, because I wrote it in a non-linear way. So like it wasn't that I had it strung out. So I had it in my head, but I didn't have it written out. Like it was just coming out in that way.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, I had other scenes, like there were tons of scenes that played straight that like I did go back and change and like modified different things. Um, I used to be terrible about only doing like one or two drafts of something, and I found that um, the I think writing a like fifth draft is so satisfying because like you can just see all of the thing, like you just are living the story at that point, and okay, this is working, this isn't working, I got to see this here, okay, I don't need to even mention this here because this beat will play out like that. So it's not that I had it written straight and then went back and like finagled it. But it's that I had written it and I had rewritten it and I had rewritten it, and I just kept like I lived with the script for 2.5, 3 years before I talked to Alex.
Okay.
So I had the whole thing written, and so it's hard to say. Like I knew where I was going, but it always just still made sense out of order in my head.
Sure. I get that. I get that. I love the structure. I love the way that this story is being told. I love the fact that I'm not that as I said, you are requiring work from the reader. You do. It's
No.
you need to be engaged with this story, and I think that makes it a better story. I think it makes it more satisfying to the reader once you've put in that effort to get a satisfying result.
I think I just get bored with a lot of things. And also, look, I've
It's all
got
back to ADHD.
ADHD, but I also I've got 3 young kids, and so I don't sleep, and I fall asleep through everything. And I try to read a book, and I fall asleep. I try to watch a movie, I fall asleep. The mark of something, if it's good, is that I stay awake these days. But like, I can stay awake when someone gives me a little bit of work because I feel invested.
Yeah.
So if a writer or a writer artist or a writer and artist, like if they're giving me um, a little bit of the storytelling, like, and the storytelling then exists between me and the book, like, then I'm invested. If it's just sort of chugging along doing its thing, then I'll fall right asleep and I don't care. So it's just like how I consume things these days, and that really colors, I think, how I write.
I want to come back to your collaboration with Alex.
Mhm.
How did that collaboration work? Do you give him a lot of direction? Does he? Does he? Do you have a conversation
Mhm.
with words other than just the art and the script, where
Mhm.
you play off of each other?
I think I try to write a script like it's a little bit of a letter to the artist, and like so there's already a dialogue going in there, and there's asides, and there's reference, and there's here's what I'm thinking for this, and it's not just like the plain beats, but I also want it to read well so that the tone and the feeling of the story comes across. So there's already that, and then really we talked over email, and we go back and forth a lot over email. But that was how it is. And it just kind of clicked. I remember he sent the turnarounds,
Mhm.
and we had talked over like, okay, well, like he's like, give me some ideas of like even like actors and actresses, that type of thing. I just want a general sense of how you're envisioning the characters. Um, and they don't look like those references, but they embody the feeling that I had talked about, and that was like the first thing. Like I feel like his art elevated the book so much, and his art just like is something that I'm really drawn to. I really love his style. I feel like it's very classic and new at the same time. Um, it just feels very very right for the story. So um, roughs would come in, and like we'd have a conversation about him, but like it was more like particulars of like story beats, if maybe there was an element or something that didn't quite hit or that type of thing. But like really he was going pretty going for it right away with his art. So um we fell into a good rhythm, and I'm very thankful. Look, hey, we're working on another book together now,
That's fantastic.
and he's been very very generous, pulled me in on some cover work that he's done, things like that. So we've done some shorts, so we've worked on like 6 projects now together, and
That's
this one
awesome.
hasn't even come out yet. um, and I just love working with him. I think he's a genius, and I think that he keeps surprising me with different things, and the way that he is continuing to like just develop as an artist.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I love the fact that you guys have continued to work together because, like as I said, you have an interesting collaborative uh, thumb,
Hmm.
right? Both again, the fact of this book, I think it's really it can't be ignored. The fact that this is a writer and a colorist and an artist, a line artist in the middle of it, and that collaboration is very special, and I think it adds to the success of the book. Um, uh, in the back of the book, there is this set list.
Oh.
Uh, do we recommend that we set up this set list? Is this a Spotify list?
Yeah,
First
I
off,
have a Spotify list for it. I'll
all
share
right.
the list. Yeah, yeah.
And you should listen to this while you read it. Is that
I mean, like, listen to it while you're reading. Listen to it afterwards. Listen to all those bands. Uh, the
why
every
is Electrolux by Hoover the first song?
because of the mood and the tone it sets.
Okay.
It's very slow. It really is just sort of brings you in with this heavy bass. It Yeah, it's a good song, but I think it's a good opening song too. Like it sets a tone.
All
I will
right.
say, so something on here. So there's the fantastic band, um, um, Marginal Man, who has the song Marginal Man, which I have on the set list here. And everyone should listen to that song. It's amazing. My one regret, and also like I feel great that I didn't name a superhero character Marginal Man. It'd just be too on the nose, like this DC superhero Marginal Man, but like also I kind of regret not doing it.
You could have had Marginal Man in the book.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe do something else with it. But
all right, that's fair. So this book comes out in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's been a long road.
Yeah.
What at this moment, what are you feeling?
I feel great. I mean, like the fact that the book is done, it's a hardcover, which like already just feels great. Like as an artifact, it feels really good. It like reads well. I like a physical book, and I like the feeling of a physical book, and like I like good paper quality and that type of stuff. And like Oni just really did a fantastic job putting it together. All of those things, like for me it's like a treat, because like also like doing self-published comics and stuff, like it's all like, okay, all right, making sure that I've got all my settings the way that I want, make sure I'm doing all the things. But they did a lot of that stuff. They did all the post work, and they just like did such a great job. So I feel great about the book itself. I wanted to make it, and it's made. So everything else is bonus. And so like I look at, so we're going to have like a release party at Phantom Comics. And it's not like a book launch quiet thing. It's going to be like, we're going to have a band playing.
What day is that?
That is August 29th, and you should totally come.
I'm going to try. I have to work, but I will try and come after work.
If you can make it, it would be great to see you. Otherwise, I'm sure I'll see you Baltimore.
I'll be at Baltimore. Yeah.
SPX.
I'm not going to be at SPX because work.
Work is the worst.
At New York, though.
Oh yeah, I'll see you at New York then.
Yeah.
But so like we're doing the Phantom thing, and it's like going to be a party. So my wife has a dance company that's going to be performing there, which may or may not tie into the book. Does modern dance factor into a ghost arm made of angry ghosts?
It might.
I mean, the fact that I'm asking the question kind of implies it does. So
I mean, to be honest with you, can you, first of all, we have a request from the audience. Can you hold up the book? Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, but I got to run over here to get it.
Yeah, I get it. And I'm gonna, and I don't know if you can hear me, and I'll talk about this, but it's important, folks. We live in a digital age, and so digital comics are a thing. And this book, I agree with you. I don't know if you heard. So what I was saying. So there's the book. It's beautiful. There is a scene that may or may not be about dance that I am 100% sure plays better in a physical copy than in a digital format.
Yeah, and I might just so first of all, it looks
great.
It really, like, they did just a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But like, I'll hold up for a second. A certain scene, if I can.
It's around. Yeah, that is the page. That page doesn't play as well digitally as it does.
Sure,
as it does in hard.
It really does, yeah. But yeah, it looks great. And yes, SPX, I will have copies. I'm like, I got the copies in. Shelly, check your mail. Yeah, it just feels great to have this book. So like, I mean, like I said before, like I wanted to make I didn't think anyone was going to read it. I wanted to make the book that I wanted to make. And like that, like, I just felt like I wanted to make it the most me book it could be. So it's a little bit personal. It's a little bit like raw in places, and it's a little bit weird and awkward and silly. And it's all of those different things, because I also like, that's just what I like. I just like things that are a big mix of everything. And so far it seems like people who have read it seem to like it, and like that feels amazing. I feel incredibly fortunate for like the wave of comic creators and people who have like helped me promote it, things, Dean as well, Shelley as well. um, like it's like, I feel really honored to be a part of the comics community, and like it just like, it has been just a wonderful experience. And like, so like the book coming out is like the culmination of like, yeah, this years long process of bringing it to readers. And so like now I just want everyone to read it. And I
I
hope
do too. And it's going to be, I hope it's a huge success at the tills or whatever it is, and however, but it's a beautiful book. It's a great story. I thank you for making it. Thank you. And this is one of those examples of, I'm very cognizant of saying thank you for sharing this story, because this is your story that you wanted to tell. It's not about you, but it's a story that you wanted to tell that was inside of you. And it's a big, it's scary and a big risk to put that out there and say, this is the story I want to tell to the world, and hopefully they don't hate me for it.
Yeah. And then like that is certainly a piece of it. And it's also like, I don't care if you hate me for it, right?
Good.
But I want to stand by, like, if anyone was to pick up something and be like, what has Oliver Mertz written? And they pick up this, like, I want them to like be like, that dude's fucking weird.
Well, that's fair. That's fair and true. And that's what you'll get. Oliver, I'm super excited that we were able to do this, kind of come full circle on it.
Yeah. And I mean, like when we were doing the Kickstarter, it really meant so much that like you had me on, like, as I said, the Kickstarter doing well is what got Oni's attention. So you were a piece of helping me make that a success. So thank you for helping.
Very, very small piece of any.
But thank you for helping to make this become a thing.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome. And I can't wait for more. I can't wait for the next thing. I will try to make it to Phantom Comics. If not, I will see you next month at some point. Shelley, thank you for watching, as always. I love when you're here. I'm going to let you go. If the kids aren't to bed, put them there. And
my wife gave me sort of the night off for this. We did all the bath time and whatnot, and she's going to bed. Hopefully they are asleep, but then I'll probably just fall asleep.
I will answer Shelley's question. Mike, I'm gonna let everybody in on a secret, because Mike's not here. Mike wasn't feeling well, so he didn't make it tonight. What happens with this is a lot of times we'll get preview stuff. Mike doesn't typically read it before the show. He wants to react to the individuals. I'll do a lot of the research and read things and stuff, but he always reads everything afterwards. So most likely he will read this, and I know he enjoyed this your Kickstarter from we saw that earlier. So it's weird enough for him. And next week we'll be back. I'm gonna let you go, Oliver. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
And we're excited. September 2nd or first in bookstores. I don't know if that's
first in bookstores, September 2nd in comic shops, and then if you're going to be at SPX, Baltimore Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, or just go to your shop and ask them. I mean, I think better than anything, go to your shop.
Go to your shop, ask them to order it for you, because there will be copies for them to do that. That's the best way to do it. Or digitally, if that's your thing, get it that way. Thanks so much for being here, Oliver. We'll be in touch, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
Sounds good. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks everybody for listening and watching. Mike's gonna be fine. But what we were hoping to do So we'll probably do it next week, a little bit before we bring in our guests. The reason there wasn't a show last week is because Mike and I made a road trip from Connecticut to Chicago and back. He wanted to see some old haunts, and we had some great fun. We hit a couple of comic shops along the way. It was a great time, and we'll probably recap that a little bit. He had a really wonderful time. He's just dealing with some stuff today. No big deal. Next week, though, we are going to have Wendy and Richard Peeney on the show. We're going to be talking ElfQuest. We're going to be talking Mask of the Red Death, which is their current Kickstarter. I had a chance to talk to Wendy at Terrificon a couple of weeks ago, and she is super excited about this project, and I can't wait for her to share that with you, everybody. So next week on Tuesday, we will be here with Wendy and Richard Peeney. I don't think I ever would have expected that I would have the conversation that we're about to have, and so I appreciate if you guys will be here. Make sure you like and follow, subscribe. Just click all the buttons. Just click them, and we'll let you know when we're going to be here. Make sure you follow us, because we're always letting you know what the upcoming SquadCast is. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys letting me talk about things I love, and Mike as well. We will be back next week. And in the meantime, read more comics because they're good for you. And we'll see you later.
This has been a production of the Pop Culture Squad Network. PopCultureSquad.com. How do you nerd?